is judgment. And so there are important decisions to be made today. You may have a second chance at something. You may be trying to resolve something, revive it. You may be critical of others, judging their decisions, actions, behavior, or others may be judging you. Maybe you're dealing with the legal system where you actually have contact with judges, with courts, with lawyers, people who make decisions that affect your destiny or the course of your life. This is a marker point. You're doing an assessment, and it may have to do with having to grow up, or a change of position, or the end of something. In fact, there is an ending with the potential for a new beginning. Now, some of these changes, maybe you're taking life in another direction. It's a jump start because you've changed your career, or you're remarried, or you're getting a divorce, or there's a new opportunity, or you're going in a new path. Maybe you got a promotion, or you changed your residence. Whatever it is, the ultimate focus is self-improvement through some kind of self-appraisal. Taking something to the next stage, the next level. And in some cases, that requires a clean slate. Some of you, maybe this is about, bringing, if there were issues earlier, and remember the overarching card was Tower, which could speak of an accident or some kind of illness. This may be a day about focusing on healing. So you are definitely looking at the direction you've been going in and perhaps assessing whether it's been worth it. Was it the right choice, the right decision, the right path? Did it lead to where you wanted to go? So, you have questions about whether you should keep doing what you're doing, if what you're doing was correct, and matters that you thought were dead, put to rest, are now coming back up, and likely to be things that you didn't want to deal with, things that you've been avoiding. And so life is going to force you to make some decisions today, or face some truths. And again, that Tower represented shocking revelations. What's coming up, what's coming out that maybe you had tried to repress or not address. And now you can no longer avoid it, because no matter how inconvenient or how challenging, painful, or some new fact or development, you're going to have to look at it as an opportunity. Perhaps this thing, whatever it is actually a blessing for you, because now you get to see what you're made of. Who are you really under pressure, under certain circumstances? What conditions allow you to draw on a reserve of strength that shows you what your best is, how far you can go? So you're going to get some information today that allows you to make decisions that are better for you, or that allow you to prevent something negative from happening, or if you've made a mistake, for you to not make a bigger mistake. And part of that entails putting things out in the open, clearing the air, so that no more additional misunderstandings occur. When things come out into the open, that may clear your reputation in some way. Maybe it allows people to see clearly. They thought, oh, you were guilty of this, but now that the story is the rest of the information, now you're vindicated. And you may be able to turn a situation completely around successfully. But whatever it is that you're dealing with today, it's going to require your patience. Some things, you may be dragging your feet on. Some action that you need to take means that matters as a whole are just going to hang out there. They're going to be in limbo, or you're out of touch with reality or other people. You're a step out of sync somehow. And it probably means that it's hard for you to get on to new business until you start tying up all these other loose ends that you've been putting off. And you may feel like, well, that's an ongoing story. This is all I'm ever doing is tying up loose ends. When do I get to that next chapter? But it's something that's necessary. Whether you have to keep starting over depends on how quickly you're actually getting the message or learning the lesson or making the right decision. And again, part of it is not so much misfortune, but this tendency toward procrastination, putting things off. And that's you working against yourself. There's a call to action here, and it's a wake-up call. Don't just sit there dead. Get up. It's time for you to do something. And the best way to make a good decision is not get all caught up in the emotions and the drama. This is a day where you actually have to be very pragmatic and look at the facts. If you've got emotions invested in it, which you likely do, you're going to have to try your best to be objective so that that doesn't taint your decision-making skills, so that you can make a better decision, so you're not making the wrong choice or the wrong move. And because this is a card about judgment, you just can't get past today that that's a part of events. And at the core of it, being too quick to judge other people, putting the blame at someone else's feet, not being accountable, pointing the finger, without really considering your own contribution to a circumstance. And maybe, that's been too difficult to deal with. Maybe you're having some kind of identity crisis. Favorably, this is something that's going your way. There is improvement. A favorable legal decision, you pass some kind of test, whether it's literal or a life lesson test. You graduate to the next level in some way, whether it's figurative or literal. But in the negative, in the shadow, this is having to learn some hard lessons about negative karma. It's about being a loser. It's about failing and having to deal with unwelcome endings or transitions or unwanted major life changes.